Hi, I'm Laura Hoy for Benzinga, and here's a look at what you can expect from the markets today, Wednesday, September 4th. PMI data this week gave investors hope that the global economic recovery was gaining momentum. The Eurozone's PMI rose to its highest level in over 2 years, which allowed for manufacturing to grow in peripheral countries like Turkey. The US, China, and Japan all followed suit with improving PMIs and rising new orders. Military action in Syria became more likely after President Obama's plan to launch targeted military attacks in Syria gained support from key members in Congress. Russia's President Vladimir Putin gave an interview on Tuesday in which he cautioned the West on launching military strikes without the UN's approval. He also said that he would support military strikes as long as there was evidence proving that the Syrian government was in fact involved in chemical weapons attacks. Chinese President Xi Jinping has said that this year's lackluster growth in China was the choice of the government. He said that in order to solve fundamental problems, his leadership team needed to bring down the growth rate in China. LinkedIn is planning a stock offering worth $100 billion. The company is expected to sell 100 billion Class A shares, with underwriters having the option to sell $150 million worth of additional stock. Asian markets were down on jitters about military action in Syria. The Hang Seng Index was down 0.31%, and the Australian ASX 200 lost 0.67%. However, the Japanese Nikkei Index was up 0.54%, and China's Shanghai Composite was up 0.21%. European markets were down across the board this morning. Italy's MIB suffered the largest losses, shedding 1.38%. The Eurozone Stock 600 was down 0.28%, and the UK's FTSE index was down 0.33%. The German DAX lost 0.17%, and the Spanish IBEX was down 0.38%. In commodity markets, Brent futures were mostly flat, but WTI futures lost 0.40%. Gold was down 0.25%, and silver lost 1.9%. In currency markets, the euro to dollar ratio was little changed, but the pound gained 0.19% against the dollar. The yen continued to slide against the dollar and traded at 99.62 yen to a dollar. JCPenney was up 2.2% in pre-market trade after Heyman Capital Management Company announced that it held a 5.2% passive stake in the company. Micron Technology was up 1.71% after the company's management presented at the Citi Global Technology Conference. Halliburton was up 0.5 percentage point this morning in pre-market trade after reports that the company was entering into a joint venture with Trinidad Drilling. Carnival Corporation continued to suffer from this year's very public accidents and poor PR. The stock lost 3.28% in pre-market trade. Today, investors will be watching for earnings reports from Dollar General and Sienna Corporation. Today on the economic calendar, we've got British, Eurozone, Spanish, Italian, German, and French services PMI. The US will release its Beige Book. South Korea will release GDP data, and the Bank of Japan will release its rate decision. And that's it for today's Market Primer. I'm Laura Hoy, wishing all of you good luck on your midweek trades.